breaking news coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in the same interview to the Wall Street Journal, has also spoken about China. Prime Minister Modi has said we need peace at the border for ties with China. We need first peace before we can have those ties. Believe in respecting territorial integrity. India is ready to protect sovereignty, and India solves diplomacy with dialogue, not war. Gaurav, this is amid all the aggression, the interference that China is clearly initiating, and not just with regard to border over Ladakh, but even now with Uttarakhand, Sikkim. It's trying to interfere wherever it can possibly with its infrastructure, even though it's on their side. This is an important statement that we need to have first peace at the border before we can have ties, and India will defend its sovereignty very clearly.
And that's a message that the entire world is even watching. The entire world sees India defend our territorial integrity. Chinese were indulging in salami slicing of Indian territory for decades. So this unfortunate domestic politics that we see on that subject is only advantage China on a very crucial national security issue. Remember when the Democrats and the Republicans are at each other's throat on every other issue, but when it comes to foreign policy, they stand united. When, for example, on engagement with India, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, they're on the same page, and that is why this relationship has been taken forward. When it comes to China, unfortunately, Indian politics is not on the same page. China is the enemy, and we need to realize that, whether it's the opposition or the government. So salami slicing in the past is being countered by very strong deployment at the line of actual control, and China realizes it. Incidentally, Pooja, do not be surprised in the next several days if you see something happening at the line of actual control where China tries to checkmate India, whether it's in Arunachal Pradesh or in Sikkim or in Barahoti or in Ladakh. But then there will be effective countermeasures that will be taken. China wants to embarrass Prime Minister Narendra Modi. At the same time, it realizes that India is in a position to embarrass China too. And this is a game now the two can play. So very, very interesting, geopolitics that is at play right now, where India sent out a very strong message. Relationship with China improves only if there is peace and tranquility at the border. For this, you have to get back to that April-May 2020 position. You have to disengage. You have to then start delinking your troops, and your troops need to de-escalate and move back. Whether that happens, there are two friction points that remain, but there may be more in times to come.
Now, Gaurav, of course, this visit is about India and America. It's business deals, defense deals, trade deals, and of course the Indian diaspora event, and yoga in many ways a soft power. But how much of it do you think is reflective of the equation with regard to China? Even though China will not find a mention, how much of it do you think is a message being sent to China?
So when two powerful democracies come together, the world's two most powerful democracies amongst the most powerful economies of the world, when they come together and when they link up, it's a signal that goes out to expansionist forces. It's a signal that also goes out to the rest of the democratic world. It actually empowers them. When India stood up to China, other democracies started standing up to China. And that's the signal that even the United States got, that one country is standing up to Chinese expansionism, and there is now a sea change in US attitude towards India. While the relationship has been improving constantly, from the Clinton era to the Bush era to Donald Trump to Joe Biden, because they realize engaging with India, empowering India is in American national interest. So that is why for the first time you're seeing a defense relationship that's being taken to the level where fighter jet engine technology may be shared with India. And this is like guarding family jewels. Nobody shares fighter jet technology. India has been trying since the 1950s. Remember, our Kaveri engine project is still to fructify. The engines that we've bought from overseas, remember the HF-24, the Marut, the Hindustan fighter experiment? Well, unfortunately, that experiment was not taken to its logical conclusion. Otherwise, India would have been a fighter jet manufacturing nation, learning from past mistakes. But now what's happening is India is taking Atmanirbhar Bharat in the right earnest to the next level in a very, very big way. How are we doing that? We are manufacturing LCA, LCA Mark 1, LCA Mark 2, then AMCA, the 5th generation fighter jets. If it's empowered by the GE414 engines, then this actually takes this relationship altogether to a new level, including with the Sea Guardian drones, the Reapers, the Predators, the UCAVs with their Hellfire missiles. This is actually taking the relationship to a new level.
The shared technology this time is also going to definitely be and making this deal upscale as well.